Hello viewers, it's Josie. Welcome back to Positive Poems, where I read positive and inspiring poems to help uplift your day. I hope everyone has had a wonderful summer. Please excuse me where I have the fan in the background and it's making noise. It's really humid where I am and I need some airflow. Anyway, today I'm going to read my latest narrative poem called Root Poem. But before I do, I'm going to read an excerpt of Universal Human, the most recent book by Gary Zukav. There's an excerpt in here from the chapter on the new economy that really inspired this poem. Well, really the entire book as a whole inspired this poem, but I can't read all of the excerpts that inspired because it'll be too long. Gary Zukav is one of my favorite authors and speakers. He's just so incredibly insightful. He's not just one of your typical off-the-shelf personal growth writers. He's a true philosopher. Really, I think this book should be studied in years to come because it has really deep insights on not only interpersonal relations, but also our political state. Anyway, here, let me read the passage. Blackberries grow everywhere in Oregon at the end of the summer. They grow by roads and streams. They grow in cities, in the country, and in backyards, including ours. They grow quickly, and they're tough and thorny. We joke here that one enormous blackberry root is growing beneath the entire state. That explains why pulling plants here and there, or tens of thousands of them, cannot eradicate blackberries. The state-sized root would need to be pulled. External power is a species-sized root beneath all 5 sensory social structures. Until we pull it, our social structures will continue to prevent the evolution of multisensory humans. The only place where we can pull this root is in ourselves. This means that our social structures will not change until we change. From the multisensory perspective, the world reflects our inner dynamics, just as a mirror reflects appearances. The old economy is one of our reflections. It shows us the brutality of the parts of our personalities that exploit instead of contribute. Anyway, let me move on to the actual poem. My local kingdom's disintegration begins with several structures collapsing, resulting from much weakened foundations, and such crumbled walls not built for lasting. The castles in my kingdom were designed with foundations of fear as their floor base, and the sets of several people's minds, even though not directly in your face. People who work in the castles pursue external power to make their ends meet, without knowing they were missing the clue that their methods won't make them feel complete. Whether that be seeking romantic mates before creating self-security, or asking others to craft their own fates at the expense of their own stability. Those in the castles compete for prowess, impressing their own and others' bosses, with best of best profits in big business, or even donating to some causes. The root beneath the kingdom creeps upwards, like the hand of the underworld's Hades. It is activated by the passwords and programming from our fear-based stories. The biggest one being, I am not worthy. The root is itself a monstrous being, begging to be more beautiful, wealthy, intelligent, and just flat-out thriving. The root is the size of the whole kingdom. It is the task for the community to pull the root upward from the bottom and clear the way for seeds of harmony, sharing, cooperation, and reverence. The root presents objects of temptation, luring us towards the common prevalence, where the consumers become the consumption. Stemming from the root are politicians who force change to band-aid insecurity. Even though their justifications, it leads to colossal disparity. The root manifests itself into sick care, prioritizing profit over health, even if patients do not get fair share, so that companies can maintain their wealth, for they too are scared of being in lack. The root manifests itself into warfare, terrorist attack after terrorist attack, super traumatic for people to bear, as well as our very own Mother Nature, as Gaia herself suffocates in gunsmoke. Who also struggle are little creatures, birds, rodents, deer, and other forest folk. The root manifests into exploitation, whether that be cheap labor, slavery, or even the school administrations and employers asking for more degrees. The board game pieces used here are the peasants, with me included, who signed the contract, wasting away our power and talents, believing limiting stories as fact. The dungeon is our place of forced cheap labor, blaming authorities and blaming ourselves, and asking when it will be the hour when we finally break out of our shells. The dungeon is our place of ultimate boredom and perpetual repetitive loops, wishing to get back into the kingdom and get the chance to be in social groups. Pulling up the roof is not a contest, for more and more roots just further extend. Determining which hero pulls the root best, in itself alone comes from the frightened quality of the kingdom's consciousness. The root pulls me down into a big pit, feeling only shame and powerlessness, coming across a truth that's hard to admit, that it is our responsibility to care for Gaia as she does for us, with her enormous generosity, but instead, most individuals fuss. I grab onto my fears, which are the roots. I see them for what they are and climb on. They show me reasons why I took some roots, the basis for which they were made upon. The one way where fear can be generous is giving the gift of understanding with a higher level of self-awareness, inciting soul consciousness expansion. We are the planters, we are the planted. We are the government, we are the governed. We are the creators, we are created. We are the ones who teach and the ones who learn. Pulling the root from the ground takes courage on the behalf of our community. Breaking free from the chained bounds of bondage, celebrating the kingdom's liberty. It begins with me, my heart is the key to the dungeon door holding the peasants, the frightened parts of me that I set free. We're the alchemists, skilled with the elements. We have in our hands what's uprooted, and apply the strength of the threefold flame. The old withered roots are now transmuted, thereby shifting the course of the game, with new seeds of love planted in the ground and harmonious roots spread all around. I hope that this poem put a smile on your face. If you like this poem and want to hear more positive poems or see more movie-related videos, then you can click the like button and subscribe. You can also follow me on Instagram at Positive Poems or Eclectic Movie Updates. I am also on Letterboxd at Eclectic Movies, although I don't post on there that much. But I hope those going back to school have a nice last weekend. It was wonderful sharing this with you. Goodbye for now.